thank you for the courage of your convictions. Thank you for telling your story. Let me ask you, why did you first begin hosting weddings in the church that the two of you are?
We love weddings. We loved that business. Loved to do the flowers, and we had a restaurant, and we had everything all in one location. We had some beautiful events.
And tell all of us what your faith means to you.
Oh, everything. It goes to the core of our being. How we live our life.
When you first found out you were being sued, how did that impact you?
Well, the whole event was devastating. Personally, it brought me down. I knew that the Gortz Haus would never be the same. And
let me ask you what a skeptical person, what a secular person might say. Which is, why didn't you just give in? Why didn't you just agree to allow the same-sex wedding to be celebrated in Gortz Haus?
we could not celebrate a saint. We could not take part in what we believe in.
I suppose the media would say it's just an easy thing to roll over and accept it, to embrace it, to say it's right. And yet your faith wouldn't allow you to do that.
Of course not.
So the litigation went on for 18 months. And then you personally paid $5,000 to settle that. And has there been another wedding in the Gortz Haus since then?
Our last wedding was November of last year. We simply had to get out of the business. We're at risk. It was well publicized what our faith was and what our faith is, and we just could not take the risk and put our employees in that wedge.
And then earlier this month, you closed the business altogether.
July 31st.
Tell us about what that means to you to close this business, hosting weddings that you love so much. Tell us what that means to you.
This was my passion. This was our passion. We had worked for 13 and a half years to build this business, and we lived there 6 days a week, and just loved it. So it's very difficult to close the doors and walk away. It's hard to pack up.
It looks much different preparing for an auction than it does preparing for one.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at today.
So has that auction occurred yet?
October 3rd. Y'all come.
And you had a number of employees that worked for you. The flower business and the catering business and all of the businesses that helped host these weddings. What happened to your employees?
They have to look elsewhere.
For the consequence of this, you've been driven out of business.
Right.
Absolutely.
Your employees have lost their jobs. And tell me about the public reaction.
Confusing, actually. We have a lot of supporters, and we cherish those folks. The interesting part about it is that many of those supporters didn't want to support us publicly. They didn't want to be seen supporting us out of fear of reprisal. I don't know. I have to talk to those folks. So that hurt. All of a sudden, we learned more about people than what we thought we knew.
Well, and I know a lot of ugliness and vitriol was directed at the two.
Unbelievable.
And that wasn't easy.
No. Never had experienced anything like that before. Some people are familiar with the words and expressions that come after you, but this was brand new to us, and it really took us by surprise. To be called a hater and a bigot, just overnight you become something you don't recognize yourself.
Well, and I know the terms that are used by those attacking you, both political activists and also many in the media, attempt to characterize you and me and all of us as somehow intolerant. And yet, what is the tolerance that has been demonstrated to you for following a biblical teaching that marriage is one man? These two men who wanted to get married, there were other facilities where they can do that, is that correct?
Of course.
But they wanted it in your church for you to celebrate their union. Let me say something to the two of you. I know this has been a very hard journey. I know Betty in particular.
Make me cry.
I'm not going to. But I want to say something. Scripture tells us that God has ordered our steps. I will tell you, I'm convinced you have gone down this road. You have endured the pain. You have endured the attacks. You have endured hatred. Precisely put you where you are here today.
I agree.
You know, Dick, we talked about not knowing where your friends are. So let me point out there are 3,000 islands. And there are church groups and home groups all across Iowa, all across the country. There are believers lifting you up in prayer. And let me tell you, your faith, your courage, they inspire every one of us to stand with you. Thank you.